Alrighty, what is going on, chat? It's your boy, Coach Apxche, and today we're about reviewing a Luna Snow game. Our boy Polo Goat. And today it's actually pretty special. It's a little treat, right? Because it's a tournament game, right? So this is very competitive. Everybody's really trying to win. So there's not no excuses of throwing or this or that. It just comes down to who's better, right? Who's going to do what they got to do. Right, so we're playing Luna Snow. I really don't gotta explain the abilities, but just in case there is anybody new here, bam, snowball. It's a CC. You throw it out. It's a projectile. You hit somebody that froze. They can't be waking up. If you or your teammates shoot them after like half a second of them being frozen, your shift is going to be your clap ability. This, alongside with your snowball, actually gives you healing over time. So if you're ready to take damage and you need to heal, but you're low, you can use that to not only heal, as well as self-sustain yourself, and it's really good when enemies are really grouped up because now you can heal because it pierces and damage enemies at the same time. So I like to use that for that too. And then your snowflake is going to be a mark that you place on your allies. You can place it on one. And what that does is whatever healing you give to someone else, it'll give them, I believe, a percentage of that healing. So yeah, with that being said, your ult is a big AoE ability that creates a healing aura. And then you can swap that between healing and damage. For the most part, you're just going to stay on the healing. The only time I would ever switch onto the damage is when you kind of already you have known you won that fight, and there's like one or two guys left, and you just want to finish it a little quicker. You can switch as long as they can't just insta tap somebody or whatever. Yes. So with that being said, looking at our team comp, right, your mark should go on to your sidewalk for the most part. I'm not opposed to you switching it, depending on who needs it in the current moment. But since your sidewalk will be the one that is most likely to drift off a bit and get a little bit out of your LOS, I would prefer it to be on the sidewalk. Other than that, if you know you're going to be hard following a certain lane, because your cloak and dagger and this comp should be your like tank healer in a sense. What I would say is I wouldn't be opposed to either, putting the mark on her or putting it on like your main tank while you help like your off lane push somewhere. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly how y'all play as a team, so I just have to see that before I can make any official comments. But without further ado, let's go. In terms of pushing on this map with your comp, you have a bucket. You don't have a lot of spam. So what you could either do, since you're a support, and I like to value supports as IGLs. There's a couple paths, right? And we'll talk about them. So you have path one, right, that leads up here, which you can go directly to a point, right, or you can wrap around to the high ground. Or heck, you could even drop down, right, and contest from here, right? You have path 2, which is just straight up main. Right, I'll use a different color to make it a little bit easier. You have path 2, which is straight up main, right? You have path 3, which is through here, right? And then you have like a fourth path. We use an even different color. We use a red, which is this way. And there's like a wall and there's a window here, right? So these are four different options for you to attack, right? And really it's going to depend on what kind of comp you have. I like getting an off angle, but it really depends on what they have. If we look at what they have two supports. They have a they have a storm, a bucky, right? So like diving things is going to be really hard, but off angling is going to be kind of nice. So what I would do is, assuming, as we can see that they are playing up here, we don't really have the tools to have like a super long range fight. So we have to just keep that in mind. I'm not really sure how I'd want to push this. I'd want to, like, if anything, take a range fight, but then again, Storm giving amp to their backline DPS might just make it really rough. But it's also rough because running out of Storm and her amping is going to do a lot of damage as well. So your tanks aren't going to really have the range to shoot from here. You don't really have consistent range damage from here either. So I would say you probably go either like 3 or 4 here, and then you can break this wall that's here, which gives you another angle, as well as your Groot can actually climb up here with walls. So I would say probably lean more to the right side because it's a little bit closer, which would be good for your cloak. And yeah, Loki's gonna farm damage, but I mean, hey, he's gonna do it anyways. I feel like so. Just be mindful of that. Let's see. You got your mark on the side. Cool beans. Right, tanks are like playing really far up. So I would like, if I see tanks playing really far up in mid, my call is going to be, guys, run right, right? They're out of position. They're not on high ground, right? So I would call out to my team, we need to push this right, because at this point, if we shove right, we can take an even fight here, right? they can have high ground, they can have this, right? But like they're on low ground, right? We can rush here and take a 50-50, right? And at the end of the day, like you only want typically 60-40s, right? But on defense, they have the 60-40 when they play high ground. They gave it up by playing low ground. So we need to abuse that, right? So right now, if I were you, I'm calling a fast rotation through the right side here. Right, right, let's go right, let's go right. They're not on height, they're not on height. So the fact that we're gonna match them in mid is not not super cool for me. Especially because it reduces how much cover you're gonna have personally. The last thing you want is for shots to fly by you and hit somebody else. Okay, right now this is gonna be y'all just racing to build ults. So one thing I would notice too, this is like I said, like this is a review for you, but what I also want to instill in you is aspects of being an in-game leader. So if you see that your group's just placing walls and trying to play quote unquote normally, like you have a Bucky group, you need to tell your team, hey, we need to be playing around the hook. When save big wall for hook, and if he hooks anything, you wall it off, and bang, that it could be a fight win, depending on who you grab. I want you to notice those things a little bit more, and just kind of call them out. You're in the back, you see the bigger picture, and if you just see the fact that your team's never, combining utility that's really strong, the Bucky grew, that's not okay, and right now you could call out like, oh, like Psylocke, like, take height, or like, like get alternate angles, she's still in y'all's LOS, she could, be annoying from up here, has a health pack, which means she'll need less healing from y'all, yada yada yada. Just try to see what your teammates are doing as well, and call that out to them, because this is, like I said, a team environment. Make sure we get that mark back on your Psylocke when you get a chance. But then again, you are trying to hard pocket your group to keep him alive, so I'm not against this as well. Boom. I would look for a clap soon. Get around that wall. Yeah, Volt. You react. Yes. Nice. Good job. Okay, cool. Remember your LOS base with that. Okay, cool. You live. Nice. You're staying inside that. Stay inside. Stay inside. Stay inside. You have to be able to see. Yes. I'm walking out. So I mean, I'm okay. I was okay with where you were at around this side, but then again, they're walking out, so you're trying to rotate behind your tank. So this is cool too. Oh, gotta be careful of this hook though. I'll rotate back to your side if you can. Nice, nice, good job. Nice. I like your rotations. You're very aware. Nice. So obviously you being on the card is nice, especially since you have more range. So I would let your cloak know to walk up here. But since they are fighting so far up, I'm not against y'all just taking the fight right now. And then worrying about the card a little bit later, just to see if you can catch people off before the other people return. So right here, especially if you can notice that they're not all here, I would call for an aggressive fight, because I would rather you win the fight, get a little bit more map control, and then have both your supports on there, and then the second people start fighting, you can get off. A big mistake people like to make is they like to just think that you have to fight and push the card at the same time. There are times you can do that, but sometimes I would rather you just fight. You're not going to get as much card push, right? But then once that fight's over, you can hop back on the cart, right? And then once they're like, okay, they're coming back, right? Or you're so where they're coming back, you can come back out. Sometimes people try to do just they worry too much about the cart. Sometimes they worry too much about fighting. Sometimes they try to do both at the same time. You got to be adaptable and know when's the right decision. And right now, I think fighting is because the enemy team's not fully there. So if you can get a pick, which will cause a stagger, that would be really big right now. So that could be a call that you make. Right now, like I would want to be a little bit more aggressive here, especially with getting like you have the Psylocke and the Magneto, which are great at breaking the environment. You could break this wall here, right? And then you could just instantly create like a way for them to get through really quickly, get access to the backline. Hell, Magneto could sit here, bubble your Psylocke when your Psylocke goes in, do a little divey dive, things like that, right? But just aggression. I would have liked to be a little bit more aggressive a little bit earlier on. The Groot is overextended right now, so that could be a pick as well. He's using all his walls just to get out. Yeah. You want that Volt? Heal the Groot. Oh. So, okay, two things, right? So either you're going to hard pocket the group in hopes that you'll get the ult before she gets it, or you're going to run. you're just gonna turn and run because you know she's gonna just ult, either she's gonna ult you or she's gonna ult on top of your team, which is crazy that she didn't just ult on top of your team, right? Because she probably could have got a pick on one of these guys too. But hey, it is what it is, right? I would say just if either you have the confidence that you can build that ult or just run, right? I wouldn't, especially since you're close, so close too. Like there was a really big chance that you could have probably just lived here. But you have to make that decision. As well as knowing that she didn't use it to fight before, you know that you need to build up your ult as fast as possible. And we got two support ults, right? I like to engage with cloak ults, and I'd rather react with a Luna ult. So right here, you can call for that. Like, hey, can we engage with what's her name ult? They do have Magneto, but as long as she does it correctly, she could do it in a way where she can't be killed. People have the mixed conception that you just can never ult when Magneto has ult, but if you do it correctly, you'll be fine. Oh, that's huge. Now she can ult right after. Oh wait, oh, let your cloak ult. I think I would say let your cloak ult instead of you. But hey, I mean, it's whatever. It's not a huge deal. The reason I like to use the cloak ult, just to put it out there, instead of the Luna ult for aggression, is because after the cloak ult ends, especially since Magneto, so like Magneto wasted his ult, and Magneto is that counter to her ult, right? So the fact that he doesn't have that anymore, on top of the fact that after she uses her ult, it lingers and she's allowed to do damage. So instead of you ulting and taking yourself out of the fight damage wise, your cloak can ult and now you all can still do damage, right? So for aggressive plays, cloak and dagger. For reactive defensive plays, Luna. Again! Unfort. You got burned through. Again! That's the power of the freaking storm, man. 15% extra damage. Is it 15 or 12? Ugh. Too much. So even though you lost that, you can still engage with the cloak ult here, so that's what I would call, especially because they don't really have any ults here. But I want to take dry fights. So right now she has her ult, right? So for any kind of healing like this, you should be doing alone. She should not be helping you. There's no reason for her to help you, and she needs to know that, right? Because why is she healing? She has ult. You need ult charge, right? So in this scenario, if you see that occurring, like, hey, let me build ult. This is out of the fight. We don't need to rush to heal. Get that snow out. Get that mark out, man. Like right now, he could really use that. Oof, we've been holding on to that cloak ult. Once again, you know, I want you to be a leader, right? Make sure that you talk to your cloak like, hey, I want to use this next fight. I have a bad feeling Cloak's gonna wait to use her ult, and then by the time she uses her ult, Magneto! Psylocke needs a heal. Need you to keep that mark on your Psylocke right now. Like when you're deathballing, I think it's okay to give it on your group because then you know he's just getting insane amount of heals. But also, you know, you want to give your flank that ability to do things, right? Oof. I'd get more people on cart here. One person on cart's not enough in my opinion. There's no reason to have only one. Because at the end of the day, right? So you got to think about it this way. Where do you want to take the fight, right? You want to take the fight in the choke, right? Especially if you have ults. Like if you can get past it, that's cool. But like it's kind of open here, and the cart's really far back. So why are we gonna take a fight like in front of the choke when the cart's not even there, right? So what I would say is have people post it up, but have enough people on the cart so you can get the cart here, and then you're gonna pop ults to get to the choke. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would get you a little behind on that cart, man. On that cart, we're not doing nothing right now. Look how slow it's moving. Look at this, and they're just waiting, which is crazy. A good team should walk out and take a fight before the choke because if they can get a fight like here, you know, like they can guarantee themselves a second fight, and you need to be aware of that, right? A good team is going to take that aggressive fight because if they lose, they'll get another one. Compared to if they lose it at the choke, there's a good chance they won't get a second fight. And here comes that ult, which you have yours, so you're fine. Stay on the cart, so everybody's getting healing. Cool beans. Ooh, your Groot is... Oh, man. Oh, he probably got hooked. Somebody's getting dunked on. Ooh. Finally, we Cloco. I about to say, you're a little too close for my liking here. I'd prefer it if you were just like probably like over here because you could do kind of a similar thing. The only issue is that this is a pretty quick route for them to walk on. I don't really know if this left route is a little bit better because it's so open right now. Yeah, so I'd probably just like the cart to the right here. I wouldn't be so close where you're like if you're on slash in front of the cart when you don't have ult, it's like very risky. Start drifting back. Backwards, backwards. Your tank's backing up for a reason. He's afraid. Oof. I'm not mad about that death. They chased you down with ults. I mean, I would have preferred you to turn and run a lot faster because now they're gonna take a lot of space. So since your cloak is gonna be like we said earlier, it's gonna be like hard fighting the main. What I would do is I would try to get my Salak and my Magneto to go do things together. Because like if they can get in the back, like look at they're playing really far up. So like you could probably get Magneto to play from an angle here, right? Doing damage with Psylocke, right? So like you could hyper enable like an offlane push. A lot of the times, too many of the times, I see a lot of teams kind of just like funnel like with 6 people down main, but you have multiple lanes. You know what I'm saying? Like, your Magneto's to controlling this. Like, why not send people with him to like get angles here to go all the way around, right? These are things that I want you to notice as well. Because like I said, Cloak and Dagger is gonna be that brawly support because she wants to hit those windows, right? Those purple windows, whatever you want to call it, the veil, shadow veil, right? She wants to hit those. So with that being said, she wants to be behind the Groot. She wants to be close to the action because she has the utility to get out. She has the utility to just make this fight super unfair in our favor, right? So, yeah, compared to you, you don't really have that same kind of aggressive utility. Oof, I don't like you standing right here. Oh man, just like look at this. Like look at that narrow like angle you're looking through. Like yes, you have natural cover, but like you're like it's not like you're like you could be healing him from here, right? But you're here, right? And it might seem like, oh, that's not how it's not big of a difference, but you're in Grandmaster, right? I mean, I think you have the idea that motherfuckers really hit them shots, right? And that's a shot that can hit you, right? Compared to like being behind cover and doing the same exact thing. Why take the risk? Why take the risk? You got it already. They're showing you like, hey, we'll tickle you. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Oh, okay, we cloaked ult. I don't really know if Cloco... Yeah, Cloak... Unless it's stacked, Cloco is not saving you. Oh my gosh, why are we Cloco-ting? Holy moly, if it's not stacked, it's not saving you. She needs to know that, man. What is going on? And you need to know that, too. You need to know that little streak's not saving you. Ay, ay, ay. You gotta ult there. But, like... Yes, you have to ult there, but it's, like, not your fault. Why are we Cloco-ting? Why don't we just use the Luna ult and Cloak ult after? Granted, they could still kill through it if they use Magneto Storm together. That burst damage is going to be crazy, but like you can get bubbled, right? It's just it's mind-boggling to me. It's like, yeah, you should have ulted there because you had to, but you shouldn't have been forced in that situation to begin with. Yeah, but yeah, you have to ult there because you don't have a choice. A mistake was made by somebody else that you have to mitigate. And you still have ult, right? Ooh, touch. Okay. Yeah, you touch for your team, but you're not going to be able to hold that long. Oh, you're going to buy enough time, though. It's okay, 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 okay. About this ult, right? So, what the fuck? You got to pay attention. We'll go back a little bit. This is on you you could have lived a little longer. So, like, okay, how much time do you have? Okay, you have 11 seconds, right? Yes, I know you're going around to be elusive, right? But like we need to like be mindful of where the enemies are at, right? So we're going around. They're all around right now, right? But at some point, they stay on this side. So stay on this side. Stay on this side. Because all the damage is right here. When you go around, when you go around, do-do-do-do-do-do. You got it right now. You're just going. Dun, 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 dun. You gotta like be aware. Okay, they're over there. Let me hide from them. Hide from them. Because the Mag Storms, it's gonna hurt, but it's not gonna kill you compared to like getting dinked by a Bucky, getting shot by two clones, getting, like let's like count 4 shots versus 2. Which one do you really want, or 3? Which one to get hit by? 3 is less than 4. It's gonna give you that chance. You know what I'm saying? So at this point right here, like you just have to be aware of that, because then you could have maybe given your team that chance to touch if you just live a little bit longer. So when we think about defense, right, we need to think about how we're gonna play defense. So you got high grounds, yada yada yada, but like you can't really just like I don't like really holding up here unless we know they're not gonna have a strange, due to the fact that they could just TP behind us and now they have high ground and access to point, and if they were to like really want to, their tank could get underneath, and now you're trying to fight them from there while I was trying to fight a tank underneath and blah 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 and all that stuff, right? So with that being said, I like to play back here. I would want one of my DPSs to be getting information, which the Salah could be doing pretty easily without dying because they can get out pretty quickly. So when it comes to how I want to play here, right, I would say that I wouldn't mind as a Sue. The issue with this is Sue and kind of Cloak have the same job, right? Because they want to play behind tanks, they want to hyper enable their tanks, but then again, like you also want to enable your DPS, right? So your shield will be really good for like allowing the Hela to take angles and stuff like that. But now Psylocke doesn't have that mark anymore, which won't allow her to make really aggressive plays. And then you don't really have that crazy heal range like the Cloak does to support DPS from a distance. So now what you've in a sense done is you've created a new dynamic. So now Cloak's going to be the person that's going to focus on the DPS more because she has the range, as long as they're, if they're too far out of your range. As well, the fact is, you're going to be the one healing the tanks. So now your shield, like we said, the shield can be used for multiple things. It's a really strong ability. It can be used to allow your Hela to have just more effective health because she can get healed, it can block shots, and allow her to peek angles that she normally wouldn't do, or it would be a little risky. You can also block your tanks from being hooked. That's another awesome thing that you can do, which will probably be the most beneficial way of using your shield. So I would say never let your shield break. Just quick moments of putting it up, putting it down, putting it up, putting it down, just to try to avoid those hooks and things like that. But for the hook part, you might need to just throw it up and let it go up, because the second he pops it, they're gonna have to break it. So that shield will allow your tank to have enough time to get a wall down or move around a corner, things like that. But I personally, you have to kind of play around your tanks. If your tanks aren't going to play height, why are you going to play height? Because then you're going to be out of position. So I would say just you got to play behind your tanks. I'd really help. I would say I'd like to help somebody to be helping your Magneto. Maybe if you're here, just like helping him, making sure he doesn't get hooked, making sure he doesn't get caught out. They're going height. Your Groot should give you y'all a wall to go up, which he does. Right, you're playing from underneath, which is not bad because you can support your team without exposing yourself. I would look for a pull here and just yoink the tank off. Like if he wants to expose himself, just there you go. Almost got him. I like the garage rotation here. Just be mindful, right? Like I would literally, I don't want to be in their LOS. Like I would like play here, and I would let my team know, hey, like if you don't play too far up, I can't see you. Right? If you play too far, I can't see you, and I just play here, because then you play here, you've created an opportunity for them to shoot at you. I would use your shift as well. To start at the Groot's feet. I would reposition here. I would walk out here. I would maybe throw a shield on my Groot, give him a little bit of heals, and I'd double jump to try to get over here. I just try to give my Hela a shield, as well as maybe like play behind her. So give her a shield and like play behind this pillar maybe. I don't know. I feel like the walls are kind of jumbled up, and it would be nice to give her a shield and allow her to just free peek. I could be wrong. That's what I would do in this situation. Nice little orb on the storm. but they're getting walled off. Guys, I know this is a tournament, and y'all are probably like a lot of like emotions and a lot of like anxiety and things like that. But why the fuck are we cloak ulting when we just lost 2 people? Like we spent all that stuff. I mean, yeah, they spent 2, but like what did we gain from spending that? The cart still move forward. Like, yeah, they're split up here. They should back up. Like, we didn't really gain nothing. They're not losing. Like, ay ay ay, man. You guys are grandmasters and celestials, and I think I saw an eternity player. Y'all gotta lock in, bruh. Cause y'all are too good to be like making certain mistakes that I'm seeing. Good stagger though. That's a good stagger by you and your team. You could have made him wait a lot longer. Like, why not let him get to the cart? Like, hold on, let's go back. Imagine y'all don't like eliminate this guy right away, right? Like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, you could have kept him staggered for so much longer, right? And in games like this, seconds matter. Seconds matter. Let him get to the cart. Just don't let him kill a support. That's all that matters. He's one shot. He shouldn't be able to kill nobody. Right? Just stagger him even longer. Good stagger, but it could have been a better stagger. And right here too, I'm not healing. Let your cloak heal, man. You already have ult. Your tanks are taking chip damage. You're not taking serious damage. Every point of healing you take, you're stealing from your cloak right now. Stop being a heal thief. Stop stealing. You have ult. Stop healing. If anything, do damage. Like right now, I would rather you shoot at the tanks, right? Than heal. Because he's not in danger, bro. Let the cloak heal him. The cloak is at 70% ult. Let her build her ult. Shoot the enemy. Shoot the wall. Shoot the wall. Like, be useful, right? You have ult. You don't need to heal. Your cloak got it. I promise you. Your cloak got it. Shoot the wall. Do something other than healing people that you don't need to heal. Oh no. Oh, they're gonna jump on you because you revealed yourself. Oh, bro, you're in a really bad spot. Oh, if I'm you, right? My thought process is I have ult, right? So if they teleport up here, they have an insane advantage. So I'm either one, just playing. I'm trying to play underneath. Like, I'm trying to get to my team, play underneath, play safe, and then ult if when we need it. Or I'm ulting right away. Like, the fact that we let somebody die is really, really bad. Like, we could have ulted, and your Hela could have been up here invisible. I mean, they could have still shot her because this is broken and they know where she's at. But at the same time, like, you could have created an opportunity to keep your team safe because, like I said before, your ults for the characters you've been on are going to be very reactive, and I like for Chipper's ult to be very aggressive, right? So with that being said, it's just like if we go back a little bit, right? Because this stuff it is important. I'll go a little farther back. So here we are. Here we are, chilling, chilling, chilling. They're gonna portal because that's smart of them, right? Why not? Why are they not even changed to begin with? Boom, portal, portal, portal. Oh, oh, your dude's about to die. I know you're not countering an ult, but homie about to die. Dead. Now you lost the fight. Game over. Now look how split you are. Now your Magneto has to bubble you to keep you alive. But you run away from your Magneto. They ult. You're forced to ult, but your ult's bad because your ult's purely to save yourself. Allows you to get back in the fight. But, ooh, huge. Huge ult by Grousey. What the fuck? Why did the Loki even drop down? Y'all are still losing the fight. Ooh. I'm not gonna lie, y'all won this fight because they made mistakes. Not because y'all outplayed them. Right? Because think about it this way. Ella's dead. Why in what world does Loki drop from high ground? Right? So this fight win is kind of null and void because of mistakes they made. I want you to definitely spam your pull a little bit more. Try to get that Groot out of position. The little pool can pull him close enough to where he can get walled off. Oh yeah, your boy's cooked. Do not ult here, please. Please do not ult here. You want to wait. If anything, you want to wait to the very last second, or let your cloak build ult here. So I would keep people alive that need to be kept alive, but I just back up. Oh, back up! Please don't die. Please don't die. Why are we fighting? We just lost our Groot. We need to be playing for retake here, and then holy moly, we're staggering. Brother. Oh my gosh, you're gonna get blown up. Krasi with the big ult. Oh, but like, your ult allows you all to take this fight, right? But imagine if your teammates just did not die. So that's on you to call a reset there. Because apparently they need somebody to do it. Brother, y'all could have won that. Y'all could have won. Gosh. Oh, that's so stressful, man. Dumb mistakes. Come on, guys. Lock in. Lock in. Lock in. I don't even. I know I saw the score in the beginning, but I don't know if y'all win or lose this. I'm assuming y'all lost because you sent it to me. But this is definitely a winnable game. Oh, Lord. Oh, wait. Okay, I guess it's because she ulted. I'm about to say, you're all about to get dunked on. They're Magneto tossed. A hella Magneto ult should definitely get a pick there. Y'all definitely want to be fighting the corner, but Magneto could have been playing top left too. Wait, why are we walking up so far? And that forced you to walk up. He used orb already. He used window already when they were already healthy, so now we were like low on cooldowns. Then if they hard aggress, you don't have any cooldowns to hard brawl this. You just have oh, the orb's back. I am Groot. Good eats. Good eat. Throw your orb at it. Throw your orb at it. Throw your orb at it. Throw your orb at the corner. Oh, you're not paying attention. Right here, you need to throw your little damage orb at the corner and just get to cover. Get to cover. There's no way we didn't hear Judge, Jury, Executioner. Maybe it's just too much noise going on or you didn't hear it. Like, no way. Oh, use your damage orb, man. It's there. You're just kind of sitting in the open, too. Yeah, he's not behind you, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, like, where is she even at? She is behind you. Okay, yeah, that's rough. You would have died no matter what. But one thing I would say is you don't use that damage orb enough. Just spam it, throw it there. It's gonna do extra damage, right? Like it's gonna help you build that ult. Like, even though you just use it, but you know what I'm saying? It's just in general. 1-4, yeah, that's GG. Alright, so the notes, just to kind of go over it, right? Note 1, make sure we're abusing the whole kit of a hero. Luna Mark, right, should always be on a player. An invisible damage orb should always be getting used regularly, right? I get, like, when they have a flyer, you want to pull them out of the air. But when they don't have a flyer, like, that's a good chunk of damage, right? Throw it on corners, throw it on the cart, right? Make the enemy tanks, or just throw it past them and hit the backline, right? If you can chip out of support a little bit by hitting them with an orb, like, that could be a thing, right? I want to just hold on to it because it's a part of your kit. It's there for a reason. Number 2, don't steal ult charge from your support duo in fights and vice versa, right? That player, especially when players aren't in immediate threat of death, look for damage or breaking enemy util, things like that, right? Because there's no reason for you to heal damage that you have no business healing, because then you're just making the fight harder, because the longer it takes your support to build up their ult, the longer it is that they make an aggressive ult, or like the enemy can ult dump you, and then you just don't have the resources to fight back. And then number 3 is going to be a bigger voice on your team. As a support player, you're farther back, you see the bigger picture, right? So you should be able to have the ability, as well as just be the person to tell people when to reset, when to push up, when to hold a certain space, or how far people are off from ult, or things of that nature, right? You may, if looking from the ranks, you might be the lowest rank on your team, which can make it hard to have that confidence to be that big voice. But at the end of the day, ranks are just ranks. You got to just do what you got to do. You got to do your job. And if you don't currently have an IGL, or if your IGL is someone that's like, let's say, like in my scenario, I'm the IGL for my team, but in this game, unlike other games, I'm on DPS, right? So it can be hard for me sometimes to make calls as a DPS players. So I would prefer, and I try to encourage my supports to be able to make those calls because then it takes that pressure off of me. So if your team is in that same dynamic where maybe a tank or a DPS is your IGL, try to learn that skill so that you could do that. If it's a tank, it's a little bit different because I think tanks are kind of okay at doing it. But even then, like I said, they're in the mix. You see the bigger picture. So you need to be making important calls like that too, because there's times where your team should have reset. They didn't and they died. There's times where your team is just not set up. They should be set up. They need to hurry up. They're not, right? Like you need to be that guy who controls that tempo. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, hopefully you learned something from this VOD. Hopefully everybody else who's watched has learned as well as enjoyed. This was a special treat. Thank you so much for submitting a tournament VOD because this is awesome. This is really really awesome. And with that being said, if anybody else who watches this video is looking to get coached, you know where to find me. I'll have a link below in the description that will link you to my Discord, where in that Discord you can go to the appropriate channel and submit a VOD review submission in the VOD review submission channel. Right? Just follow the little template at the top. It'll kind of give you an idea of how to fill it out, right? So that you or someone you know can get a VOD review. Yeah. Right. So hopefully you guys have a good morning, afternoon, night, wherever you may be. Boy, Apxche is out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.